Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy Sunday for those of you who are up and ready to start your day. Possibly, if you are going to church this morning or just hanging out at the house, I wanted to drop some content in your life. You're listening to Straight Shot No Chaser with Tezlyn Figaro on the Black Effect Podcast Network on iHeartRadio. I am streaming live on YouTube, my new YouTube channel, as well as Twitter, just to make sure that we get this content out and that we are making sure that we are connecting with all of those that are interested in commentary, political commentary, those of you who are serious about moving the ball forward and doing what I call push the line. So this is live right now. I am inviting my Instagram family as well. If you want to follow me on Instagram, please do so at Tezlyn Figaro. The name is the same on everything that I do. I do not go under uh, nicknames or names to hide my identity. It is Tezlyn Figaro on all things. I was born Tezlyn Figaro and plan on dying as Tezlyn Figaro. So I want to invite my Instagram family over here as well. Bear with me one second while I do that. All right, we're good to go. So today's message or podcast, if you will, is work over whining. Work, WORK, over whining. Why is that important? I am dealing with this matter because there has been too much whining on social media, particularly about me. You don't have to like me, but at the end of the day, you will respect the work. Let me say it again. You will respect the work. So, shout out to my brother Killer Mike for giving a shout out to the Push the Line training on my brother Charlemagne's show. A hell of a week. I appreciate Mike always shouting out my work. I do not ask him to do it. In fact, I tell him all the time, brother, you really don't have to do this because it causes me more problems sometimes than it does help, because people are so envious, I guess, of people getting credit or getting a shout out or whatever it is. But sometimes it causes more problems than it does helping. So I prefer to focus on the work, but I do have to give him a shout out for showing me that love for the Push the Line training. Close to 300 folks gathered in September 10th, I'm sorry, in Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm so excited. We have 191 people who have already signed up for the October 22nd training. It is online. Shout out to you, Instagram family. I see you. I would like to get off this broadcast knowing that we reached 200. Text push the line 66866. Again, text push the line. Put it in my pinned comment so that you have it. Push the line to 66866. You will immediately get the registration to register for the online class. The online class on October 22nd is campaign roles and responsibilities. Before I get into this topic, let me just explain to you what Push the Line is for those who may be curious and actually want to learn something and not on social media just to troll. Push the Line is a program that I created that has 5 different subject topics. So 5 different subject topics. Those 5 topics, uh, session topics, are topics that are critical to you that you need in your toolbox, in your tool belt, in order to push the line. What is push the line? Push the line is politics until something happens. PUSH. Politics until something happens. There's 3 ways that you can get involved in politics. You can either 1, run as a candidate, 2, be an operative to actually work on a campaign, such as a campaign manager. Good morning, Queen. A campaign manager, a digital content manager, a director of communications, a volunteer coordinator, an actual job to help someone get elected on a campaign. It could be paid or unpaid. And then there is the role of the organizer. And the role of the organizer is those who say, you know what, I am not interested in running for an office. I don't want to work on a campaign. I just want to organize around an issue. And so I set up the training to give you the toolbox, the basic skills, not everything, because I can't give you everything, in the time allowed, but to give you the basic skills on what you need in that toolbox. They go in order of how you need to. It's a cumulative program, but I am making it available to take it however, in other words, to be able to take the class either online or in person. It is 5 session topics that are important that you need to know in order to, get you a nice little toolbox. And those session topics are campaign roles and responsibilities. There are team roles and responsibilities, guys. Even if you're an organizer and you're organizing around an issue, I need you to know, to the Twitter family that's listening, holding spaces is not the only thing that you need to do. There's more that happens besides holding spaces. So this is actual real training to help you organize around the issues that you say you care about. Team roles and responsibilities is the first thing you need to take. Shout out to you, Nikki. I see you. After you take team roles and responsibilities, the next session, the next course is community coalition building. It goes in this order for a reason. The third one is campaign planning. Campaign planning is, okay, now that I know my role and responsibility, how am I going to galvanize the community around it? How do I build a coalition, which is something the Twitter family definitely could learn from, because all I see is burning bridges. I don't see a lot of coalition building. Campaign planning. Okay, now that I know my role, now that I know my coalition, how do I plan to utilize those things? And what is my role in that planning? Compliance. That's the administration part that I was trying to explain to folks last week that went over their head. It's a difference between organizing people to say, hey, come to this, and then plan the actual compliance of it. That's crossing the I's, dotting the T's, getting your petition signed, filing to run for office. If you're an organizer, your paperwork for 501c3, 501c4, 527, whatever it is you want to do, compliance. And then the last thing, once all those things are in order, campaign management. It is critical that those 5 things are in order, implemented in that order, exercised in that order, because once you layer it, it's going to, they're going to, and for those of you that understand cumulative, once you layer it and do one on top of the other, they're going to benefit each other as you grow. Each session is no more than about 2 hours. I'm going to address all 3 tracks, candidate, operative, and organizer, in each session. I'm doing it myself. You can get it online. I'm doing 1 session at a time online. And so you just look and say, hey, I know I need all 5 of these sessions, and I'm going to take it either online or in person. I cannot go to every city, so that's why I am making it available online. And please know that I know that trolls and opposition, you got to know that I know you are signing up online, don't you? Instagram family, would you tell them that I'm not new to the game? So a lot of people on Twitter don't really know me that well, but they're going to get to know me. I know that opposition is also signing up online. And I encourage you to sign up online so that possibly you can learn something and actually get something to do besides troll me. Let me say it one more time. I encourage you to sign up online so that you can get something to do besides troll me. The topics are nonpartisan, meaning it does not align with a Democrat, Republican view, or progressive. So if you're coming to the training looking for that, don't waste your time because you're not going to find it. It is not about any subject matter at all, meaning it's not about reparations. It's not about mass incarceration. It's not about healthcare. It is not about any subject matter. Even if it is a subject matter that I agree with, this training is not about a subject matter. So those of you that took the time to sign up for the training to see what is she talking about, and let me see if she know what she's talking about, you're wasting your time. This is a nonpartisan, but it's cool. You used to wasting time anyway, so no problem. This is a nonpartisan, a basic toolbox, basic toolkit, if you will, that you need to stop whining and get to work. I would love to get off of this live with Instagram, especially Instagram family, to text push the line to 66866 to sign up for the webinar on October 22nd. I see you, Chicago, in the building. If you attended the training on September 10th, you did not. I was in all of the trainings, kind of dipping in and out. I encourage those who attended the training on September 10th to sign up for the online trainings because I'm doing it myself. So you're going to get my spin on things. So you're basically getting a double. It won't be a waste of time for you because remember, the facilitators, although I came up with the topics and the subtopics, the facilitators gave you their notes. And so if you attended September 10th, I encourage you each time I'm rolling out those online courses, even though you've attended it already, jump online with me. And that way you don't have to travel to come meet me again. You can just hear the notes from my perspective and do a compare, in contrast, and hopefully it'll help you build and become even stronger. I see you, honey. So I'm saying this to say, and this is particularly for the Twitter family. Over the last couple of weeks, I had to address the entertainer that challenged me because he did not know who I was, and I needed to address him on stage. And then as a result of that, someone tweeted him on Twitter, and it became a big thing on Twitter. And so I had to go on Twitter to explain. I also had to, educate. Let me not say explain because I don't have to explain anything to anybody, but to educate. I then had to, folks did not like me speaking on reparations, even though on the panel I was giving the political side of things and was not there as a reparations expert, although I can talk about whatever I want to talk about whenever I get ready to talk about it, and nobody's going to check me. However, I was not on that panel to speak on reparations. I was on that panel to speak about the political will that is required to actually move reparations to the ballot and why we need new candidates and new operatives running campaigns to be in candidates' ears to actually ensure that reparations is a part of their platform. So I was on that panel to do that, and folks twisted that as well. So I spent time educating people because there are folks who are new on Twitter that are new to my platform and how I move, and they refuse to read the receipts that I have in the pinned tweet, which covers the over last 10 years of my work. So I needed to give the verbal. I know some folks struggle with reading, so I needed to give the verbal smackdown of who I am and what I stand for, and how the receipts will always outdo the rhetoric. The receipts will always outdo the rhetoric. But now that I have addressed those things, my mentions I am not responding to drama. I do not. Now, Instagram family, I'll do a clown, I'll check a clown every now and then in an educational way, a funny way, a clap back, and put it up on my page, and it entertains you guys. You find them funny, but it's always a clap back with facts, something about policy, something about you know, something I need you guys to know to take as a talking point. There has been some personal attacks sometimes that I've done on Instagram when somebody came after me, but very rare. Most of the clapbacks are centered on policy and correcting someone about, something they don't know, or they're trying to check me on something. And so when we do clapbacks on Instagram, it's content based. The difference between that and Twitter, which is why a lot of folks that I know are not on Twitter at all, is Twitter allows everybody to interact, everybody to have a mic, trolling, comments, a bunch of messiness that I am not interested in at all. I still will engage on Twitter like I'm streaming this live on Twitter now, but I will not put messy over movement. Let me say it one more time. Somebody in the Instagram family, I need you to hashtag it movement over messy. Movement over messy. And when I'm talking about movement, I'm not talking about the reparations movement that some folks think they own exclusively. I'm not talking about the healthcare reform, the mass incarceration movement. I'm talking about movement collectively as a whole, starting with moving your ass. Let me say it one more time. Starting with moving your ass, not just moving your fingers, but moving your ass. Not just moving your lips, but moving your ass to do the work. And when you are focused on doing the work, it's not the sensationalism that folks love to start Twitter spaces and who said this and who said that. When you are doing the work, it's not the type of content that is going to stream all over and go to Shade Room and go to Baller Alert and all of that. It's not the type of conversation that folks are going to talk about on and get you the shine and all of this alleged shine that you want. Movement work is usually the work that is not recognized. If it is not often, which is why, again, shout out to Killer Mike and Charlemagne for being one of the two that always shout me out based on the work that I'm doing. There are others, but Killer Mike really does, go out of his way to make sure that people know what I'm doing. And obviously, Charlemagne allowed me the opportunity to partner with him on the Black Effect Podcast Network to make sure that I have a podcast on iHeart iHeart is the largest audio audio platform in America. That's just facts. So I learned over the last week that I have to, once I've said what needed to get said, now you have to redirect and get back focused on the work. I'm saying this to those who are serious about the work and not about the messy, that you need to redirect and focus on the work. There's people on Twitter that I believe have a genuine spirit and genuinely want to get better and genuinely wants to do the work. And I want you to know that the things that you're seeing and witnessing, that ain't it. Let me tell you, starting a Twitter space over and over and over, talking about folks, I'm telling you, that's all that you're doing is talking about it in that Twitter space. It's not going to be acknowledged by whatever attention you're looking for. You're not, it just doesn't work that way. People are going to acknowledge and recognize the work. That's it. That's all. And being messy ain't it. And there's been some people who have been messy as hell and doing it as a low key, I'm just informing people. Please know, I know the difference between informing and being messy. And when I see that people are messy and enjoy chaos and can't wait for the next chaos, I remove myself from their situation totally and completely. Just need you to know that. This is why I move very solo dolo. This is why I don't allow access to myself, everybody in the camp, because everybody is not in this for the right reasons. And I can tell based upon how they're moving. You can't stop me from being a part of anything. You can't stop me from speaking on any topic. You can't stop people from inviting me to speak. You cannot stop people from recognizing my work. You just can't. You cannot take away the last decade plus of work that I put into politics, outside and inside receipts. You just can't. And more importantly, you cannot stop what God has called me to do. And I know a lot of folks don't like that because they say, somebody said, ooh, when they start talking about God, I tune out. Well, then tune out, because I know who my creator is and I know what I was called to do. And I'm not pushing you towards any religion. That's between you and the Most High. I'm just telling you what I've been called to do and what I'm doing. And if you don't like it, guess what you can do? Tune out. See, the great thing about it is, guys, I'm not trying to reach a certain number because I'm trying to get something done by the election. I'm not trying to tell you something by a certain time because I need you to donate to something. I'm not trying to get you to do something so that later down the road I can parlay it in the we all got to vote no matter what. This is truly just information I think you need to have, because I got tired of not seeing organizations train people with the information that they need to know. I've always done training and consulting year round. I run a whole business called Tezlyn Figaro Communications Group and have for the last decade. I'm completely self-employed. Completely self-employed. But I decided to give this training because it is sorely needed, and I needed to do it even for my spirit and my soul, because I am so frustrated with looking at piss poor leadership. And I got tired of saying, we need a new bench. We need a new bench. I got tired of saying it on cable news. So unlike so many others that talk about what they tired of but don't ever do nothing about it, I decided to do something about it. Okay, Tezlyn, what can you offer the people to help the people and get a new bench wherever they land on that bench, whatever their ideology is on that bench, Democrat, Republican, progressive, whatever issue they're pushing? How can you give your people, Black people, what they need to move forward? Since you know nobody else, well, maybe I don't want to say nobody because I don't know what everybody's doing. But since I haven't seen myself a type of training that I've been a part of myself, Congressional Black Caucus Boot Camp was my very first training that I went to in 2010. And I didn't feel like they were speaking to me. I felt like they were speaking to me, but not with me, not really connecting with me. Great training, though, by the way, but it just wasn't for me. I went to the White House Project. I went to Go Run Lead. I went to campaign school, Yale's for Women. I went to Emily's List. I went to Roof List. I went to PCCC. I was a trainer. I did a session on Crisis Calm at PCCC. That's Elizabeth Warren's training. I went to Our Revolution. I went to all of the things that I possibly could touch on. Oh, okay. Thank you. Can you retag it for me? Somebody said correct the pen. Can you type it out for me? And I'll be glad to put it up. Thank you so much for showing me that error. Type it out for me, please. Push the line, text, push the line, and then put in parentheses, all one word, to 66866. Thank you so much. I went to all of those trainings and I did not see anything that I felt spoke to me, that triggered my spirit, my soul, from where I came from, and those who with similar backgrounds. And I know the trainings that I've been to, they bring all types of background, but it just wasn't what I felt I needed. It didn't speak to my experience. And so, and I also, many of those I left feeling as if I needed to be a Democrat. And I did not want to feel like the only option was to work for a Democrat or work on a Democrat's campaign or run as a Democrat. I wanted some different options. So I got tired of talking on TV about the same thing over the last year, and I've been so very frustrated. My motivation has been so low over the last, particularly since George Floyd, of all of the things that I've seen behind the scenes. And so I said, what can I do to, one, keep my spirit in the game, and two, make sure that I'm giving others the tools? Because the main question that I get from people all of the time is, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And that just can't be addressed in a panel or a summit or an interview or a podcast or a Twitter space. You really have to have a training step by step, bullet point by bullet point, on the things you need to do. All of those things are important. I have a podcast. I sit on panels. I give speeches. I do all those things. But I felt there was a missing tool, the training part, that people really needed to, so they can take notes and actually understand, have a little bit of meat to carry on. Can somebody on Twitter, on Instagram, please type out, text, push the line, and in parentheses, all one word, to 66866 so that I can pin that tweet? I would greatly appreciate it. I'm going to put it in YouTube because YouTube is also joining us as well. See, this, when you work for yourself, you got to do it all yourself. I don't have digital folks on payroll and things like that. So I do most of the work myself. I do have, some project managers that I work with, like shout out to Andene Brown, that helped put the training together in Atlanta. But for the most part, I'm doing it by myself. Your frustrations will lead you to the Atlanta training. Yeah, absolutely. So I wanted to just put this out here to let people know as a Sunday message. Let me wrap this up. Do not cast your pearl to swine. Have y'all ever heard of that saying on how you basically do not allow your gifts to be cast to swine? Whatever your gift is, whatever it is you've been called to do, please do not allow the foolishness on social media, to distract you from doing the work. Do not believe that what you're seeing on social media that's the way to somehow get clout, or whatever it is they're looking for. Do not believe that that's the way that somebody's going to come to you and say, hey, you know what? I want to get behind you. I want to get behind your project. I want to support you. I want to, I want to echo what you're doing on national platforms. Do not think that sitting up being messy is the answer to that, because it's not. And I get it. I know you've seen people go viral for being messy as hell. But what usually happens with that is, when they do that, they have to continue being messy, because they have to keep those numbers up. They have to keep that up. They have to keep going, keep going, keep going. And then they turn into a clown. Nobody takes them serious. And I'm talking about in the politics. You cannot combine the two. You cannot combine messiness and work. It just doesn't work. In the long term, it just doesn't work, because you're not going to have opportunities to go to the next level, because nobody that's doing anything serious wants to attach themselves to somebody that is constantly in the center of mess. It's okay to, have a little fun. I do too. I do the clowning, the jonesing on folks, the roasting. I do it too. But my work exceeds any of that. So if your work is not exceeding what you do for fun, if it's going out, if it's hanging out, if it's doing whatever, it's how whatever, hey, the work got to exceed that. I don't have no problem. Like when somebody say, "Ooh, why you going out? You shouldn't be going out. You too old to go out." First of all, my baby's college is paid for and she's 15. First of all, I own several properties looking to buy another one. Third of all, I am 100% self-employed. I don't work for nobody. And I don't have to beg the white man to do anything for me. And I don't have to hide under a fake name on Instagram because I don't want to lose my job. No disrespect to people that do that. I feel you. I've been there. But the reason why I'm pointing that out is I'm a boss. So if bosses want to go out to play at night or have a good time or whatever, I can do that, homie, because I put in the work and I continue to put in the work to be able to do that. Now, if you're going out to the club and don't have a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out, then yeah, you do need to redirect how you moving. You do need to redirect how you moving. But as far as me, oh no, baby, I can go out with the cleavage and all. And the brothers appreciate it. Shout out to the brothers who appreciate. It's some sisters who appreciate it too, obviously. But shout out to the brothers who appreciate it. So again, telling me what I should be doing and not be doing. I noticed they don't never go look at that resume. They don't never comment on that. They got comments on everything else, but they don't seem to comment on those receipts. It's the receipts over rhetoric for me. It's the receipts over rhetoric for me. So I won't hold you long. I just wanted to put this out there in the matrix that it's work over whining and whining about me and what you don't like and who I connect with that you don't like and how I shouldn't be with this person over here and that person over there. This is yet another reminder that Tezlyn Figaro stands solo dolo. I partner with folks because I believe people are necessary in the collective to do what they do. They partner with me because they believe I'm necessary to do what I do. And that's what bosses do when they sit at the table and say, hey, how can we partner and move forward? Shout out to you, SSM on YouTube. I want to be petty and make a comment so bad, but I'm going to leave it alone because I want to say something so bad to somebody. Sometimes you just got to fight it, y'all. You just got to fight the spirit of petty. And it's something I want to say to somebody so bad, but I'm going to leave it alone because I've given folks, I've noticed them far too much in the last 12 weeks. I mean, last 2 weeks. And I'm going back to putting them right back where they belong, which is unnoticed. Unnoticed. The mentions are off. I don't even see what you're saying. I've told everybody, don't send me nothing nobody say about me. They're right back where they belong, which is unnoticed. All right, y'all. So text push the line 66866. I would love to end this broadcast knowing that we were able to get a few more folks. And again, this is not a requirement, y'all. I don't have a quota to meet at all. I really, really don't. So it's just, I like even numbers. And I looked this morning. Let me look while we're on the line. I looked this morning and said, oh, we have 191. It would be really cool if we could get 200 today by the end of today, to make sure that people are being reminded about the training, that they know what's going on. That's one part of organizing, making sure you're constantly doing your own ads, constantly pushing your own stuff. That's a very important part of organizing with getting the job done. So we're at 194. 194. I would like to be at 200 by the end of today. So I'm going to post the online training back to back to back, or three more times this morning or throughout the day. So that we can get to 200. 200 would be great. 200 people sitting in the campaign roles and responsibilities sends a huge message. A huge message. The Black people are tired. Thank you, JoJo. And I've been seeing you, JoJo. I see you on Twitter now. I mean, on YouTube. I've been seeing you have my back on Twitter, and I appreciate that. I appreciate those that speak up for me, for sure. You don't have to, but do know that it does not go unnoticed. I appreciate that. Text push the line, all one word, to 66866. Shout out to the Black app, the Black dating app, before I close, who sent me a DM concerned about how I was putting them on blast. What I need the Black app to do is listen to the 2 hours of what I said about why that no bucking, no vote is problematic. And I stand on that, in inboxing me and trying to reach out to people on the back end. It does not stop. In fact, I double stand on it. I triple stand on it. I uploaded it to my podcast early. My YouTube channel. Thank you, Larry. It's in the bio. Is the link is in the bio. I put the no bucking, no vote ad YouTube actually in the bio right now. On Instagram. I'm talking Instagram. As soon as you click it, it's going to pull up the no bucking, the no vote podcast that is on YouTube. Click there, and that's my YouTube channel. I stand by that. I double stand by that. And I hope you guys see that when the Black app jumped in, for those of you that were on my Twitter space when I recorded this, the Black app actually jumped in my Twitter space while I was talking about it. And I need y'all to notice that my words did not change. I need y'all to notice that not only did my words not change, I started speaking directly to them. And then they bounced out, they left, and then they came back and I spoke to them again. They hit it and quit it. They treated me like a booty call, which is what the Black app is about, by the way. It's a hookup app. I stand by when I say that when we all vote, should not think that the Black app is a good partner, because they're not. It's not a good partner. When we all vote, they reached out to me too. Oh, that's just one of our partners. Right. They don't need to be one of your partners, though. And I stand by that. That's right, Kenny Shadow. The screenshot ministry was on deck. They took screenshot. We saw, I took one. Everybody else took one. We see you. So now you know you heard us loud and clear. And they were more concerned about the staff members that I called out. Let me say this. They were more concerned about the staff members I called out, protecting their white staff members, more than they were offended, more than they were about how they offended Black voters. I think I'm probably going to do a podcast around 2 on them just to clear that up. They were more concerned about me calling out their staff members, saying, well, you know, they're receiving threats and all, which I don't believe. But they were more concerned with that than they were how they were offending my community. Do you think I give a damn about your staff members being offended? I'm offended on behalf of the Black community. The nerve of you to inbox me as if I'm going to say, well, you know, I don't want to offend the good white folks that work with you, so let me take it down. No, I double down. I stand on my square with that. I stand on my square with that. That's the problem. You guys are seeing the problem in real time. That's the problem in real time. And yes, I am. I just can't. I'm going to do another podcast with that title. And I'm going to invite them to it, to listen to it again. I double down. I triple down. Stand on that. The nerve of you to be, you think I'm supposed to give a damn? See, this is where y'all got me confused with the other people you see on cable. I don't give a damn about how you're upset. Oh, don't put us out there like that. See, y'all, I'm gonna do another podcast on this because I want to make sure I have the right title, and I want to make sure I invite them. But this is, I'm giving you some inside game. Usually when companies like that reach out to commentators like me, that's when they say, well, you know what, I can help you. Maybe you can help you, maybe whatever, but put me on the payroll and da da da. And then their commentary starts changing. Their commentary starts changing. That's why you see a lot of these commentators go out their way. They go out their way to correct me and others when nobody's talking to them, because what they're doing is whistleblowing to the Democrat leader or even the Republican leader, or whoever it is, or the company, they're sending a whistleblow to say, hey, I'm the one that can defend you. Hire me. Give me an outreach contract. That's what they do. And so they think because sending me the inbox that I'm going to say, well, you know what, you're right. How about we talk about it and maybe you can pay me for outreach to correct it? Wrong. Not going to happen. In fact, I'm going to do it even louder. Now that I know you're listening for sure, I'm going even harder. So I'm going to do a no bucking, no vote round 2 on their ass this week. I don't want to do it twice because this is 2 times today, but possibly tomorrow or Tuesday I have to fly out to speak at Edwards Waters College this week. I will put that link up because I believe you'll be able to watch that live. So shout out to Edwards Waters College for inviting me to speak. But I will make sure that I do that a second time because I need to send a very clear message. I'm not like the others. Don't hit me up on the back end. Do what it is we're telling you to do, which is take that trash down. Bottom line. Hitting me up on the back end ain't going to change my view at all. And it just, all it's going to do is make it worse. I stand by what I say. And how do I know that Black people are serious about this? It's because having 200 people sign up to say, I want to learn what role I can play in the political process shows me that we are serious about this. And rather than getting an ad about how you're not going to get no sex, people keep asking, what does fucking mean with a V? They replace V with F. It meant no fucking, no vote. So rather than you saying, how can we train people? How can we move people forward? You feel the only way to address us is through our panties. The only way to address Black men is through the panties of a woman. I disagree. I have power over panties. It's power over panties. And my pillow talk don't have to be, well, you just need to go down to them polls. No, my pillow talk when I'm in his ear is about how we can move our family forward, how we can move the Black community forward, how we can demand more for our vote. The devil is a lie. You will not minimize even me. Black women should be offended as well as Black men to say that Black men are that damn dumb that the only thing that he knows how to respond to is me holding sex over his head to better himself. No, I reject that. And those who say you got to meet them where they are, go listen to the 2-hour podcast I did. I dealt with every level, every talking point you have. I sliced it up, diced it up, and showed you why those talking points don't work. Because I train in the prison system. Literally go to the prison system. So even those that have been cast out, that society no longer wants, they are asking to be talked to with decency. They are asking, deal with me like I'm a human being. They are responding to something more than no bucking, no vote. And the brothers in the penitentiary haven't had sex, and even they don't want me coming to them talking about my panties. So those of you that say meet them where you are, you have not worked on these campaigns. You don't know what you're talking about. You are simply regurgitating a white supremacy talking point. I know you don't mean no harm by it. I know somebody black told you, meet them where they are. But there's a way to meet people where they are. And we are not in the gutter. Let me say it one more time. Meet who where they are. Who are you talking about? Because we are not in the gutter. I don't have no problem. I listen to ratchet music, the best of them. I grew up on Little Kim, so I don't have no problem with that. But there's a time and place, and it should not be mixed with black politics on an app that is literally named Black. How much more offensive do you need? How much more do you need? It's in black and white. The hell you talking about? Meet people where they are. It's ridiculous. So if you really want to know the deal, go listen. The link is in the bio. This is one of the most important podcasts I did. I want to say the most important all year, because the people I was talking to was listening to me talk. I did it live on Twitter Space. They came in and listened. I need you guys to listen to that. It's in it's on Instagram. You go up the link. It's not even, the link that I normally have to give all my different websites and all of that. I took that out because I want you to go directly to this episode and I want you to listen to it from beginning to end. I explain why it's problematic. Every talking point, I give you the inside ball game on how these ads are curated, how they come up with the idea, how they present it to the entertainer. I'm telling you from working on a campaign, not from what I know. Heard what I know. I'm giving you everything you need to have this conversation. So please, the link is in the bio. If you're on YouTube, it's on the channel. If you're on Twitter, when you click to hear this message, it's all on that YouTube page. It's titled "No Bucking, No Vote, Stop Bucking Around with Black Voters." Okay, so that is the most important podcast that I've done this year. And Black Effect is they're going to drop it in some of the streams that get a lot of numbers, like Breakfast Club, to make sure that message goes wide and high. What does wide and high mean? Wide, sprinkled all over to the grassroots, but high so that people in high places can hear that I'm not bucking around with you. I'm not bucking around with you. So again, push the line 66866. Push the line 66866. I look forward to engaging on the training October 22nd online webinar. I look forward to meeting those who did not have a chance to attend the training in Atlanta on December 5th, I believe, the first weekend of December. We've already booked the spot. And I look forward to meeting you there as well. Have a great Sunday. Have a great week. I will tap in again with you to one. Another thing I want to recap is this marijuana bill. I've been doing a lot of reading and researching on that. I don't always speak on things immediately because I want to make sure that I have my facts in order. So I am going to speak about the Biden the last week pardoning for those marijuana charges, simple possession. I want to go deep into that so you can know what is what, and or at least from my perspective, drop some facts that you need to know. Again, I don't always respond to everything immediately. I try to read everything that comes out from every side, and then I put together an analysis. So I'll be digging into that this week. Subscribe to the podcast on YouTube or iHeartRadio. That's important. The link is in my bio if you want to get on my YouTube page. But also my podcast, wherever you get your podcast, Straight Shot, No Chaser. I do audio more than video, folks. So if you're waiting to see me and pictures and all of that, I don't do all of that. Very rare. Because you guys do too much looking for me. When I'm on video, ooh, girl, I like your lipstick. Ooh, popping. Yes, girl. Yes, queen. people get distracted. So I'm all about audio. I'm all about you listening. I'm all about it soaking in, looking at me. When I give you something to look at, no worries. I give you something to look at. When I put them pictures up and I go out and all that kind of stuff, you got plenty to look at. But when I'm talking about this politics, it ain't about all of that to me. And that's no offense to other people who, I know people like video, and I get it. I know it gets more likes and gets more views, and because people like to see things, but I'm not necessarily, trying to get everybody to listen. I want the right people to listen that really just want this game to be soaked in their head. And I'm not, so sometimes I do videos, sometimes I don't. So if you're looking for that, if you're saying, why you don't put the video on? Yes, girl, yes. Lipstick popping. And then brothers looking, oh, put the camera down, go down a little bit lower. They want to turn it into OnlyFans and Pornhub and all of that. So or there's trolls. Ooh, I don't like your bangs today. Ooh, you need to fix your eyelash. It just be a bunch of foolishness. And I can't stand foolishness when I'm on my square, when I'm in my bag, when I'm in my commentary bag. I like to make sure, that I am focused on the task at hand. So anyway, so subscribe to the YouTube. One reason why I want you on the YouTube is because I've been blocked several times on Instagram. You definitely commented on my lipstick from time to time. No problem. And I appreciate it, sis, and thanks for the love. But one reason why I want you on my YouTube is because Instagram family, I've been blocked a couple of times on Instagram and I wasn't able to get to you. So if you're on my YouTube, I have control of that content. If you're on my podcast, I absolutely have control of that content because they don't pull my stuff out just because they don't like what I say. So the most important thing to follow my work is the Straight Shot No Chaser podcast on iHeart or Apple or Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Every Thursday, I drop a show. So when people say, oh, I wish you had a show, I do. I've had that podcast since 2020. I've been on the radio and talk radio for the last 10 years plus. Just because you didn't know it didn't mean it wasn't happening. But I've had that podcast since 2020. That's a show, guys. I know you don't maybe recognize it as a show because you think only shows are on TV, but that's a show, and content comes out every Thursday. So that's what that is. It's usually my Instagram family. I always go live while I'm doing my show because I like to, I love to respond to your comments while I'm doing it. My producer came up with that idea. He said, you should do your shows on Instagram and just let us just pull that audio because you have so much, your energy is different when you're talking to the people and you're engaging with them. And he just thought it just came out better. So I agree. I enjoy my Instagram family. So the Instagram family is always a part of my show that I do every week. Those who are listening on YouTube and Twitter, follow me wherever you want. Whatever works for you, whatever space works for you. And we're going to continue on. We're going to turn it all the way up. Big things popping for the rest of the year and for next year. Black Effect Podcast, we're going to do a election recap live that I'll be doing with Black Effect. So that's going to be exciting. Let's see how the numbers fall. Let's see what happens in November. So we will be doing that to talk about, where we are, what is going to happen in Georgia. And we're going to talk about that. So I'll probably more than likely see if my brother Killer Mike can join me in that conversation, but really just doing an analysis on the political landscape. So that's it, guys. Again, text the line 66 text. I said text the line. Text push the line to 66866 and sign up for that webinar. We are at 196. So 4 more people will get us at 200. 4 more people will get us at 200. I think we'll get there by the end of the day. Like I always say, use it, lose it, can't make you choose it. What does that mean? Meaning I'm giving you the game to either use or lose, but I can't make you choose it. And I damn sure won't beg. You've been listening to Straight Shot No Chaser with Tezlyn Figaro on iHeartRadio on the Black Effect Podcast Network. Peace.